What's up guys? A few months ago I reviewed a video by Theo Baker. Back then he got injured, but now he's back at it again. Most people learn from their mistakes, especially if you had surgery, but this guy doesn't seem to be able to learn from anything.
Sidemen Charity Match 2023. By far the biggest football match of my life. Oi. What? That didn't really go to plan, did it, the match? Sidemen Charity Match 2020.
What else exactly did you expect after already having had surgery?
Some absolute positives to come out the game. Over 60,000 people came to watch, 2.5 million live stream viewers, £2.5 million raised for charity, which is
That says everything that you need to know, because it's clear that he does this for attention, to get views. It really just shows you that there's underlying problems, that he has a complex. Nobody would destroy his body just to get attention.
unbelievable. Like, absolutely incredible what they have done for these charities. All of you donating £2.5 million, absolutely incredible. The negative, my hip. It did not go to plan, actually. It did not go to plan at all. But I will touch on that in a second. And before we do crack on with this video, I just want to say a massive thank you.
Every animal on Earth knows that if you in any way get injured, then you need to rest and heal your body, because your body is going to repair itself. Of course, some things are not so easy to repair, and in this case, maybe he needed surgery. I don't know the exact details about it, but that's not even the point. My point is that no animal on Earth would actually get up and do exactly the same just to risk getting injured again.
The Sidemen Charity Match 2023. By far the biggest football match of my life, and probably of everyone else that is playing their life as well. Oh my God, 65,000 people at London Stadium. This is going to be absolutely...
Okay, so you will have 65,000 slaves watching both of the teams who play against each other, trying to kick a man-made ball into a man-made net, and then some idiot stands there and tries to catch this man-made ball while you guys try to kick it inside of the net. It's the biggest slave activity you could possibly do. It's laughably meaningless. There's nothing worse than football, yet you guys actually look forward to it while other slaves watch you. All of you are losers in that stadium. The players and the viewers.
Insane. And I believe it's the hottest day of the year today. I'll be intrigued to see how that...
The hottest day in London, it's like 20 degrees in it.
Kick off, as you saw there, a little stretch from me. Obviously I was a little bit nervous coming into this game with my hip, but I knew that after a whole year of rehab, my hip was strong enough to be able to handle a game like this. Inevitably, it wasn't. Philly, in the first minute, playing into me, a little step over, and honestly, I got the ball and I thought, oh my God, I feel really, really good.
It's really sad, because for some of these guys, this is the highlight of their life. Kicking around the ball with other slaves. It's really sad. It's really pathetic.
Mark Cattenberg plays a great advantage, and Ethan puts the ball in the back of the net. Honestly, going 1-0 down, I wasn't even sad. I could not be happier for Ethan. Captain inside, scoring, shirt off, West Ham fan, doing it at your home ground. It doesn't get better than that. Honestly, that was absolutely incredible moment, especially to witness. Like, I can't even imagine how Ethan was feeling after that. As I said, I don't think anyone on our side was even disappointed to go 1-0 down.
It's so sad. Like I said, you gotta understand that these people have absolutely no meaning in their lives. All that they can focus on is a man-made sport with zero meaning. And that's because humans nowadays, because we don't live in nature, have no meaning in their lives. We feel like nothing that we do has any meaning, and that's true. In the slave system, all that you can do is focus on some kind of sports, a career, anything and everything that doesn't give you any fulfillment and doesn't make you happy. But you have these short bursts of joy, which has nothing to do with happiness, which goes away within seconds, and then you're left absolutely empty, because after the game you realize that you just did nothing. You kicked around the ball, followed man-made rules, reduced your lifespan, stressed your body, together with other slaves, and absolutely nothing came out of it except for sickness.
To Ethan scoring at his home ground. Genuinely, what a moment. Very well taken goal from Ethan there. Could not be happier for him. Gideon, however, what were you doing? One thing I did notice this year, by the way, Speed was telling us before, he's been having a few training sessions, and look at this, knocking it past. Look at Mr. Beast there. Mate, he's really improved since last year. He's absolute pacey merchant. But
I've never even heard of this. It's YouTubers playing football together? Weird.
And I'd say this is the moment it all went wrong. Philly here tries to find Speed. Harry misses the flick, and Speed is in here. If Speed just sprints with the ball, if he just shoots, then none of this would happen. Oh, it comes back to Baker. He goes for the shot, and his hip gives way. Now, I can't lie, this was absolutely horrific. Looking back at it, I probably had time to take a touch, or I could have left for Chunks to hit it. I definitely would have had time to take a touch, put it on my right foot. But when the ball comes to you like that, you've got to go for it. But oh my God, the pain was just excruciating. It was so bad, I was so devastated.
Sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of him at all. It's just really funny because he didn't actually do anything. He just kicked the ball. It's not as if he actually was hit by somebody. Nothing happened there. He simply hit the ball, and because he was already injured, which every human being would understand then that he shouldn't be doing it in the first place, he was injured. That's the reason. It's not as if somebody tackled him, he fell somehow. No, he just kicked the ball, and because his hip was already injured, that's why he injured his hip so easily once again.
As well, like it was actually really bad. I basically felt these like 3 pops in my hip. Thank you to like Chris and Lux and Simon and JJ and everyone who was just around me. Like, even though I wasn't replying, I could hear them just like trying to calm me down. But there was so much going through my head at the time. A, the pain was just so bad. B, I spent a year getting back to the point where I can play in this match and play football. And here I am on the floor crying in front of 60,000 people. It was bad. As I was getting stretched off, I could hear the crowd chanting, which was very, very heartwarming and nice, but I was just so devastated. It wasn't even just the pain. I spent so long getting back to this point, and for it to just happen on the first game back.
Does that make you feel like high?
Huh?
Does that make you feel like high?
Double dominance.
No, I know what you want.
Double Sunday category.
Yeah, that's the same.
Double deference.
Yeah, I got it.
Pepperoni and sweet corn.
I got it.
Please.
Long story short, I had an x-ray. X-ray seems to be okay, which, to be honest, I thought it would come up okay, because it didn't feel like anything to do with my joint at all. It felt purely just in my hip flexor. I'm speaking to a consultant this week and getting my MRI booked in, so I don't actually have the news. It feels like my hip flexor. That is either torn or popped. I don't really know. I don't really know what to say. It's heartbreaking, man. It's actually heartbreaking.
After having such an injury just a few months ago, you would think that a sane human being would realize that it's time to stop now. You're injured, you can still walk, you can still live your life happily, more or less. Of course, he cannot be happy because he's obsessed with something man-made, but it's a whole different story. You would now be able to actually at least live your life. You should now stop, of course. That's what every human being would think. This guy just cannot stop hating himself. In a few months, you will probably see him running a marathon again.
And like, I was just getting back, I was playing football, I was making videos, and now I've got to go back to square one. I'm going to be honest, it's a shit feeling. The amount of support I've had is...
Square one for you should be appreciating that you can still walk. Simply create a family, start eating better, and live your life, instead of focusing on this man-made, meaningless garbage.
Oh, it was so shit. I have to say thank you to Football for...
He looks so crazy, much like Joey Carbstrong.
You know, I say it when one door closes, another door opens. Going to be in the Olympic pool. As I said, when one door shuts, another door opens, and that door opening is swimming for me. I'm allowed to swim with a pulley buoy between my legs, which then in turn means I can...
He's allowed to swim. He's glad that he's allowed to do some kind of a sport. Why do any of that at all? Why not just rest and repair?
All right, it's been a week since the injury, and I've spoken to my physio. He's done like an ultrasound and can see like a bleed within one of my tendons, quadricep muscles. I can swim, but I gotta use this. I gotta use this between my legs, basically not use my legs. So I'm all arms in this swimming session, but that is a great way of improving technique. So, pool boy it is.
This is a perfect example of a slave who has no meaning in their lives. There's just no purpose to his life. He will do anything to compete with other slaves, kicking a ball, running for no reason, swimming now. Everything is meaningless.
It's been about 16 days since the actual incident happened at the start of the match, and now, as I said, today is the day, it's Judgment Day, results day. So yeah, hoping for good news. A bit nervous, I can't lie, but here we go.
It clicks. And have you done much football training? Yes. I play at 5 sides, and I actually do hard right foot. Yeah.
Here we are then, sat on the floor in the streets of London with my results in hand after speaking with the doctor. Long story short, out for 3 months, and it's not the injury we thought it was. There is a substantial tear of the rectus femoris origin. Only the posterior fibres of the direct head of the rectus femoris remain intact, with the bulk of the tendon torn at the bone-tendon interface.
Generally, these heal pretty well.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, you have to be quite careful because all these things heal with scar tissue. Scar tissue is always a bit weaker, and so that can be re-injured, so it's important not to go back to kicking at things too soon, otherwise you just keep injuring the same area.
Yes.
Even the doctor gives terrible advice, but then again, that's nothing new. He shouldn't be going back to kicking anything at all. Once he will, you will see a video like this again, and I would really not be surprised at all that he's going to end up in a wheelchair eventually. Hopefully he will not, but it just seems like he will never stop until he cannot walk anymore.
But it should heal fine.
I thought.
It's a new injury,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, it's very shit.
Yeah.
First 6 weeks I have to be very careful, which obviously I'm 2 weeks down, so another 4 weeks left of no running, but I can, which is important, swim and cycle, so I take it easy and play golf. The fact that it's not really to do with my surgery is what's disappointing.
What do you mean that you can swim and cycle? Why do you do it? It's not something that you can do, it's something that you force yourself to do. It's not as if you like to do it. No human being on earth likes to cycle. You could argue that people like to swim in the sense that they like to float around in the water, especially if they spearfish, but obviously nobody likes to swim in a swimming pool for no reason, because that can actually be exerting, and cycling will always be exerting. You could say that you like cycling around in nature slowly, but cycling and swimming in itself, when it's done in an exerting way, will of course never be good, seeing as we do not want to do anything that's exerting. Human beings don't like the feeling of exertion, exercise. That's why people hate exercising. Him saying that he can do it as if he's allowed to do it already shows what a slave he is.
It's the fact that it's a brand new injury. I just can't fucking kick a football without injuring. It's shit. So
You can't kick a fucking football. Bloody fucking hell. Your life is completely ruined, innit? Fucking hell.
2024, come back on for football. But in the meantime, yeah, I need to start rehab, start physiotherapy. At least I can swim and cycle and maintain some form of fitness without running. Bit of a shit feeling, I won't lie.
Innit?
Yeah, that's the results. It's now time for the gym, and I'm honestly not used to doing this kind of training. I'm doing chest and tries.
This guy is an absolute joke, a sad and pathetic joke, but at least you can use him as an example of what you should not do when you get injured. You can only really laugh at him, which is why I couldn't stop laughing before, seeing as he's conscious of what he's doing to himself. There's no way that you would not understand that you should not go back to kicking this man-made ball for no reason with other slaves together if you were already injured and you already also ran a marathon before that. You clearly should not be doing anything such as that with your legs anymore, which also includes your hips. You should not be running around kicking anything. You should not be doing any of these unnatural activities anymore. Walk around in nature, just like all humans in nature do. You won't be able to run or hunt anymore, most likely, but that's just what you did to yourself. You only have to thank yourself for that, seeing as people were trying to warn you. I tried to warn you. Hopefully he will not end up in a wheelchair, like I said. Thanks for watching.